Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to the second episode in the Tafseer series, in which we'll be looking at Surah al-Ikhlas as we go from the back of the Quran. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. All praise is due to Allah. Wa afdal salati wa atamu taslim ala Sayyidina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa barak wa sallam. Amma ba'd. So Surah al-Ikhlas, it was revealed in Makkah by consensus, and it is a surah that was in response to the mushrikeen of the Quraysh, the idolaters, who wanted to create chaos and confusion. So they went to the Jews and they went to ask them about how we can achieve this. And this was them then answering and responding that, ask him about the origin of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as he has given his origin in the Torah, in the book revealed to Musa alayhi salam. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this was then revealed to him, where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling us about his origin, and then closing, so then no more can be said after that. And this is one surah that, alhamdulillah, our children, they memorize it from a young age, Muslims learn it from a young age. It is an easy surah to learn, and it is a surah that tells us about Tawheed, the oneness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. As the surah starts off with, قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Say, Allahu Ahad. Say, He is Allah the One. Qul huwa Allahu Ahad. Now, Ahad is here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describing himself as Ahad. Only place in the Quran that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes himself as Ahad. Whereas there could have been Wahid, which also means one. They both mean one. But Ahad is that which is part of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala being Qahir, the subduer, and it does not allow for anything else from his dominion, his conquering, and his subduing everything else. Allah being one, He was always there and there was nothing with Him. That is the meaning we're trying to get to, that He was the only one there and there was nothing else. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the sole power, and nothing else existed, could exist. Everything that was going to come from creation that He would have created, and they all are they need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, as we will come and see in the later verses. So this is Ahad, where it is something that does not come and manifest itself. It is the essence of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It does not manifest itself. There is no coming out manifestation of it. As opposed to Wahid, Wahid is, there are manifestations of it in Allah's names. So if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, in being one, by describing by Wahid, we are now talking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, like if He is Khaliq, He is the creator. Khaliq. So Wahid has a relationship. If He's a Khaliq, there must be Makhluq. There must be creation. So it's that kind of relationship. Allah is one, the only one who's going to be the creator. But He has there's a relationship there, that for that to show, to appear, and to manifest, how can He be a creator when there's no creation? So there's kind of be like a link, and that's where it's more in that Wahid. Ahad, you do not even ponder over in that sense. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't ponder over the essence of Allah. What is Allah truly? But through His names, through His rulings, through His characteristics, attributes, we are able to know about Allah to what He has allowed us to know. So it's a fine difference, but here Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, just to show He's one, He's Ahad, there's nothing else, there's just that one. So this is not accepting parts. Whereas this Wahid is not accepting multiples. There is no multiple of Allah, there's no part to Allah, there's nothing that breaks off Allah, there's just one Allah. Not accepting multiples. Because you can say Wahid اثنان, ثلاثة, أربعة. These are numbers. You can say another number. When we say ahad, that's it. It just dominates all. It just subdues everything else. There is nothing else you can say with ahad. So there's that fine difference. Just to show amazing subhanahu wa ta'ala, like we can think of Allah's names from how He manifests Himself. Him being the one creator, Him being the one helper. He's the Nasir, helper. Then you need to be a helper. He needs to be helping. So we are the Mansur. We're the ones who are helped. He's a Qahir, the subduer, the conqueror. And who's He going to subdue? We're the subdued. We're the Makhur. And so on and forth. So forth. Raziq, the one who provides sustenance. So if He's going to be a Raziq, how will He be a Raziq and provide sustenance if there is no Marzuq? So we are the Marzuq. We can go through all of Allah's names in this kind of fashion. So there's that fine difference, but at the end of the day, Allah is one. This is just to try and take it a little step further, just to understand that there's so much to know, generally speaking, about Islam, about Deen, and about understanding Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and about understanding our prophets. So the next line, one other thing, just Ahad. Bilal radiallahu anhu, he was the one who would say Ahadun Ahad, Ahadun Ahad, as he was being punished by his master, and a big boulder being put on him, and we're telling him to leave that Deen, leave Allah, leave the Prophet ﷺ and that religion. But he would be carrying on saying Ahadun Ahad. The Prophet ﷺ would be passing by, and he would approve of what he was saying. Ahadun Ahad. He was saying Allah's name. Ahadun Ahad. So to say dhikr by Allah's name as well, by saying Allah or Ahad, this is all acceptable to call upon Allah. When you say Allah, it's like saying Ya Allah. If you call somebody Hassan, you're saying Ya Hassan. So there is that kind of inside already, that meaning. So to say Allah, Allah in your dhikr, for example, that is permissible. وَاذْكُرِ اسْمَ رَبِّكَ وَتَبَتَّلْ إِلَيْهِ تَبْتِيلًا. That mention the name of your Lord. And what's your name of your Lord? Your name of your Lord is Allah. And then devote to Him in pure devotion, as it comes in the ayah. So that's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قُلْ هُوَ اللَّهُ أَحَدٌ. Explaining this, Allah's origin is He is one. Allahu Samad. Allah is the one who does not need anything. He is independent, so He is self-sustainable. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything else requires Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and He does not require anything else. That's at that meaning at Allah's level. As we bring it to our level, we are the ones who do need, so we need to eat and we need to drink. So that's not befitting to say that about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because He doesn't need to eat, He doesn't need to drink, He doesn't need anything, He's not in need of anything at all. So Allah Samad, He is self-sustaining, and everything else requires and needs Him. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. He does not beget or is begotten. So He has no father, no child, no children, as they claim Isa alayhi salam. Na'udhu billahi min dhalik. We seek refuge from such statements. So that Jesus is the Son of God, we seek refuge from such statements. Lam yalid wa lam yulad. Clear from the Quran that He is not begotten nor begotten. And this being born, in a sense, even in our mind, we cannot even have in our mind any kind of everything we think of. It's kind of like begotten. It's kind of how we come up with it. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is free from all of that. We cannot even perceive, we cannot even think about, we cannot even comprehend, we cannot even ponder what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And the final point is just to mention it in this last verse, to tell you وَلَمْ يَكُنْ لَهُ كُفُوًا أَحَدٌ. And for Him there is none comparable. There is none comparable. Like another ayah in the Quran, لَيْسَ كَمِثْلِهِ شَيْءٌ. There is none like Him. There is none unto Him. There is nothing similar or comparable to Him. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is, whatever you can even think of, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is far away from that. To do any reverse kind of thinking that we think, okay, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will think about in a different kind of way, we will always be far off the point. We will never get close to thinking about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in His essence. In terms of His sifat, His attributes of mercy. He's Ar-Rahman, He's Rahim, He's Khaliq, He's the creator. So all of these, we can think of things about that, how we can think that He is the one who provides sustenance to us and He has created us. We can think of in His names, yes, definitely. We can think of how He rules, how His rulings are in the Quran. We can think about that, and there's places where we can only have to put belief, and that's in His essence, that we believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as He is, and we can only know whatever little bit that we know from Him. So this is Surah al-Ikhlas, and inshallah next time we'll go on to Surah al-Masad.